A very pleasant good evening to one and all. In the region, across the nation, around the world, we welcome you to the Barado Athletic Center in East Chicago, Indiana, as we open the 2014-2015 season for the Marquette Catholic Blazers as they take on the host Cardinals of East Chicago Central. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. We welcome you to the Sowers Ford pregame drive presented by Sowers Ford of Michigan City, Northwest Indiana's newest Ford Lincoln dealer. Give them a visit at 3930 Franklin Street in Michigan City or call 219-879-5381. Brian Snow here with you, and folks, I'm not alone this year. I welcome Larry Babcock to the Marquette Catholic broadcast crew. Good evening, sir.
Brian, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Finally get a chance to work together. How about that?
It's going to be nice. It's going to be a fun year.
It is going to be a fun year. And speaking of a fun year, the Marquette Catholic Blazers finished last year with a 13-game winning streak after the loss to Bishop Knoll in the conference tournament. And since then, they played with a chip on their shoulder. This year, they're playing with an even bigger chip on their shoulder because there are still a couple of people that think that it's a one-hit wonder for Marquette, and that is just not the case, not with this strong of a team.
Yeah, they are going to be an exciting team to watch. And in Class A ball, I think they got a shot at repeating this year. As long as they play hard, play aggressive, use their big men inside, I think they're going to make another run at the state championship.
One of the people that you have to watch in Class 1A is a fellow who set a record for three-point field goals made in a championship game. His name is Ryan Vasikas, the 6'8 senior, who is going to Providence College next year. This man can shoot lights out, but he's also a big man and can work the post very, very well.
Yeah, and that's going to be key for Marquette against these big schools through the regular season is they got to get him involved and let their Division I athlete work the post and get some inside points and open up their three-point game. There's
one thing that, and I've talked to Donovan Garlitz and their coaching staff throughout the course of the preseason and leading up to now. They love stacking their schedule and playing these big schools to get themselves battle-tested and ready. It proved true in the championship run last year, and opening up here with a 4A school in East Chicago, the battle test really, really begins. And I love how they stack their schedule to get themselves ready.
Yeah, I can tell you that from experience that, when you stack your schedule early on and you play tough teams, the biggest thing for coach is he's got to, keep morale up if they start, losing a lot to the bigger schools and getting beat. He's got to be able to find a way to keep them positive and make them understand that this is for the betterment and that, all these games leading up into March 1st is nothing more than practice to make a run at the state tournament. So what your regular season record is really doesn't mean anything because we don't seed in Indiana. So it's all practice for the big dance.
It is indeed all practice for the big dance. We're just getting started here on the Sowers Ford pregame countdown presented by Sowers Ford. We'll pause for a break, and when we come back, I had a chance to have a conversation with Coach Donovan Garlitz at their inter-squad scrimmage last Saturday. You'll hear that conversation in its entirety. This is Marquette Catholic Blazers basketball.
What makes Sowers Buick GMC a must-stop shop for your GM vehicles? Simple. Our award-winning service department. We have one of the best-trained teams of technicians in LaPorte County, which means we will fix your vehicle right the first time. We're proud of our team, so come see why. Sowers Buick GMC, serving LaPorte County for over 30 years. Stop by today and discover the Sowers difference. Sowers Buick GMC, 1900 East Lincoln Way, LaPorte, 219-326-7474, or visit us at SowersAutos.com.
Harsh weather approaching, now is the time for electrical contractors to stock up on supplies for that unsuspecting winter storm. Northwest Indiana's pros have depended on Pesco for 50 years. Pesco, Portage Electric Supply Corporation, has a full line of supplies for the most demanding of jobs. With friendly service that comes with being a woman-owned distributor, it's nice to know you can get the right tools at the right price without the grinding hard sell. For electrical parts that get the job done, go where the pros go. Pesco on Milton Road in Portage.
Quality products from Bridgestone, Firestone, and great service is what sets U.S. Tire and Automotive apart. Our service department specializes in brake service alignments and oil changes for customers just like you. Come pay us a visit at 3350 Grant Street in Gary, Indiana, or call 219-884-4600. Or visit us online at ustire-auto.com. Welcome back to the Sowers Ford pregame drive presented by Sowers Ford of Michigan City as we get you ready for Marquette Catholic Blazers basketball at the top, or just a little bit beyond the top of the hour as they take on the host Cardinals of East Chicago Central? Well, I had a chance to talk to Coach Donovan Garlitz at last Saturday's inter-squad scrimmage as he gets ready for this year. And the first question that I asked him was this: and how much are you looking forward to see this team grow as the season goes on?
We're a veteran team this year. I thought we were pretty young last year. We had three 3-year varsity starters, but we were still young. We had a lot of sophomores that were playing and even some freshmen. And, this year we've got all juniors and seniors because of just how everything has worked out. And, they're a really, really good group of kids, and they're working really, really hard in practice every day.
To see the likes of Braxton Miller, Ryan Vasikas, Javante Peels, Malcolm Reed all come back and make this team even stronger than last year. What was the biggest lesson that you taught those kids last year that they can teach the young ones coming up this year?
Just stay true to our philosophy and know that if we go into the tournament 0-20, it doesn't matter. We stack our schedule on purpose so that we're prepared come postseason. And we open up next Saturday against a very, very talented and veteran team in East Chicago. They've got a Mr. Basketball candidate and a high major Division I junior on the team in Damian Jefferson. So they're a good ball club, and it's going to be a fun start to the year.
It is going to be a fun start. You start at East Chicago, and then December 6th, you see Bar Reeve in a rematch of the state championship. Is that an early measuring stick for you guys?
I don't know. It's tough. It's so early in the year. Everybody will make it out to be a nice measuring stick, but it's another game for us. I think that Bar Reeve's going to be obviously very well prepared. They've probably watched the state championship game more than I have, and that's a lot. So I think that they're going to come ready for whatever we throw at them, and vice versa.
Go back to the Andrean game, January 10th, when they basically got pushed around here, and and talking to you and talking to the guys, after the game, played with a chip on your shoulder, and you rode it all the way to the state championship. The end of the season, I want to look at that game, Andrean, and the end of the season, Elkhart Christian, where you squeaked out of there with the win. How big were those two to bookend the season and take it into the state playoffs?
We just had a really hard-working team the whole year, and I think we really turned the corner after that Andrean game. We had some other tough knocks in the chin there with St. Ignatius and some other stuff, but it's a good group of boys. They persevered and rattled off 12 wins in a row there to win a state championship. So there's not too much negative when you win 12 in a row to end the year.
Right. Donovan Garlitz. That was Donovan Garlitz joining me during the inter-squad scrimmage last Saturday. And now let's take a look at East Chicago Central. My partner Larry Babcock has a couple of scouting notes on the Cardinals. What do you have in the Cardinals for us this evening?
Well, the first thing that Marquette's got to do is they got to stop Hiron Edwards. Last night against Dunbar, he rattled off 25. And then as Coach talked about in the pregame, Damian Jeffries, he had 14, and another Division I prospect that they got to find a way to shut those two down.
With Marquette playing at such a high level last year, you would think it would be so easy for them to have a letdown, and that's not the case. We're taking a look at how Marquette is warming up here. They are huge up front, not just Vasikas. You got Tyshawn Smallwood at 6'4", Malcolm Reed at 6'4", Javante Peels, the team's jumping jack at 6'3", and then you got Braxton Miller, who grew from 5'10" to an even 6 foot over the course of the summer, coming into this year. A very veteran-laden ball club.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to watch them. And like Coach talked about, those veterans that were on that state championship team, they have to stay true to philosophy. And as you have seen over the years, Brian, as I have coached, sometimes it's not your most talented teams that are going on and winning state championships. It's
exactly.
the one that buy into the program, and they continue to lead despite what happens.
Looking at this team and going back to last year and seeing how they really came together before the run to the state championship. I mentioned the Elkhart Christian game to close, where they let a lead slip away and they wound up escaping and winning by 2. One of the things that was said to the team is take this into the postseason, which is what they did. The history belied them, because the last 2 years before last year, they lost in the sectional round, which is the first round here in Indiana. This year they were able to beat that ghost, put him away, And basically, except for the challenge they got from Bar Reeve, they ran roughshod through the state tournament.
Yeah, sometimes too, again, you're talking about 15, 16, 17-year-old men here or young men. And, sometimes that, can we get out of the sectional? Sometimes they defeat themselves mentally. Physically they're prepared, but mentally, they got through that. They figured out a way and found a way to win the sectional. And I think after they won the Elkhart Christian game, at that point, they understood that, hey, we can win this thing and we can go all the way. And they did kind of run shot through Class A until, Bar Reeve stepped up and said, here we are. What are you going to do against us?
And they answered the call with an overtime win. 70-66 was the final. Looking ahead, East Chicago tonight, Bar Reeve next Saturday night. Then they'll see teams, they'll see Illinois Powers like Bishop McNamara, Brother Rice after the new year. It's a loaded schedule, and they play in the Greater South Shore Conference, where they are defending regular season conference champions. And also, there are teams in the Greater South Shore Conference in different classes. Again, loading the schedule and getting the team battle tested and ready. And it starts tonight. Do you expect these teams to come out with a few jitters at the start of the game before they settle down?
Well, I think for Marquette, yes. East Chicago, they played last night, beating Chicago Dunbar 63-44. And, East Chicago was up 32 yesterday, and then their bench got outscored 20-6, so they kind of let the game get back in. And again, is that young kids getting the jitters? Yeah, it probably is. I expect Marquette to settle in nice, once they get the hype of, okay, basketball season's here. I remember when I played the game. You looked forward to this day. The week couldn't get fast enough. Thanksgiving was too stinking long when you had to play on Friday or Saturday. So once they get into the feel of things, I think they'll settle in just fine, and I think we'll see a competitive game tonight.
We'll come back with our Souers Ford keys to the game. And you're listening to the Souers Ford pregame show, getting you ready for Marquette Catholic Blazer basketball. You're hearing it live on the Arena Sports Network. At U.S. Tire and Automotive, you'll find passenger tires, performance tires, truck and SUV tires, and more from proven brands including Bridgestone, Firestone, and other leading industry names. Conveniently located in Gary, Indiana, and providing great service to customers in Gary, Griffith, Hammond, Munster, and Highland, Indiana, U.S. Tire and Automotive offers brake service, alignments, oil changes, shocks and struts, tune-ups, and other valuable services to get your car, truck, minivan, or SUV back on the road. Give us a call at 219-884-4600 or drop us an email at info@ustire-auto.com. Mention this ad and receive a 10% discount on auto work or ask about our tire specials. U.S. Tire and Auto, servicing Gary, Indiana and Northwest Indiana since 1991. Hey folks, this is Brian Snow, CEO of the Arena Sports Network, and we're inviting you in LaPorte County to become a listener partner as we make our base in LaPorte County. Call 219-814-3091 or visit arenasportsnet.com/listener partner. Your $30 yearly contribution helps us to become the voice of LaPorte County and helps us to execute the mission we've always had, bringing the spotlight back to the student athlete.
It's your ticket to affordable family fun. It's your ticket to high drama, spectacular action, and magical moments. It's your ticket to an experience you'll never forget. It's your ticket to the IHSAA Girls and Boys State Basketball Tournaments. Attending a girls or boys tournament game is a fun, affordable way to see Indiana's game played the way it was intended to be, for the pure love of it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and the Indiana High School Athletic Association invite you to be part of the state's rich tradition of high school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure state tournament excitement. The drama is set to tip off. Do you have your ticket?